Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that 2023 has been the absolute worst year for Disney in a very long time, at least under Bob Iger's supervision. We know that he has been the worst CEO. My actual argument is the worst CEO of all time, even worse than Bob Chapek. And given that, the board of directors are not just the problem, if you really want to get down to the root of it all, it really goes down to some of the top shareholders, just to name a few. Vanguard and BlackRock, they really are the ones that are all about these DEI agendas being thrown into these multiple franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, and just everything Disney in live action. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject surrounding Phoebe Waller-Bridge, shall we? Now, we have been hearing, from her all that much on and off, but she comes out and about from time to time ever since Indy 5 and the box office collapse. You guys may all recall that people out there like IGER, Kathleen Kennedy, Steven Spielberg, and even Phoebe Waller herself kept on saying and were so, confident that that movie was going to make $1 billion at the worldwide box office, which actually never ended up being the case, not even close. They capped out around 360 or 70 million worldwide, give or take, and that was an epic failure for them. It really was. They lost tons of money, and you gotta put into the equation that they don't get all of the revenue that the ticket is sold for. Some of that goes to the movie theaters. We all have to remember that. So, focusing on Phoebe Waller-Bridge here, what's intriguing is exactly what she had to say. Now, with Disney currently struggling with their business models, such as Disney Plus and their latest box office failures, however, recently Phoebe Waller-Bridge had something to say about Disney and Bob Iger at large. She delivered the following. In this industry, it can be very tough and hard to work with as an actress and as a creator. Working with Disney has been the greatest opportunity of a lifetime, but of course, complications and creative differences are what sometimes lead to one getting excluded or laid off from certain projects in the making. I have experienced such things with them over time, and it was a tough pill to swallow in this industry because Disney is like the golden chance for your time to shine, right? And to show your creative side through magical characters. But I was having multiple conversations with them, and many of which just fell apart. I don't know, I guess they wanted better talent or something like that. But what's great is, as a creator, you can do better than what massive corporations want you to do when you get to choose those who support your vision. I am more than pleased to be working with Amazon, and I think those like Bob Iger at Disney really need to shape up and create a better organized approach to their vision of their current slate of projects. Now guys, let me just stop here for 1 second about Waller-Bridge is talking about. Now she's obviously alluding to how she was fired from multiple movies and series associated with Disney, just to name a few. The Lando series, the Alien Romulus follow-up, the sequel to that movie, that's going to be coming out, or should I say, Romulus is coming out in 2024. The sequel, they want to get out there by 26. She was apparently let go from that as well. Let's not forget about the Witch project, that she was going to be portrayed as a witch in one of the Disney projects, and a spy film series. So, moving forward from this, a lot of this roots back to her failure with Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. She is the one that contributed a lot of ideas to writer and director James Mangold that ultimately led to the failure of that film. That's why the movie really failed, and a lot of it had to do with Phoebe Waller's ideas making it into the story. Let's not forget that she is the one that called the shots on Helena Shaw punching out and knocking out Indiana Jones at the tail end of the film. That was all her idea, by the way. So much like how she contributed a lot of ideas to Bond, No Time to Die, it was very similar to this. Now here's the problem. We know that Disney is in a constant struggle right now between Bob Iger and the board of directors. They don't really know what to do with these massive franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, etc. And so Phoebe is making it openly clear that Disney is unorganized, Bob Iger doesn't know what he's doing, and I think that she's being more open now because she's not as involved with a lot of Disney projects, kind of like what Tatiana said about Bob Iger when She-Hulk was seemingly axed with no season 2 on the horizon. So she also kind of went against Bob Iger weeks ago talking about the strikes, and Phoebe actually touches on that right here. Let's get into this. So the conversations I was having, she says, with them was just a big mess that was tangled and hard to follow through. If perhaps Mr. Iger and those at Disney can get their act together, I think they could quite possibly get better talent over time with their properties. Though I enjoyed my role as Helena Shaw, and with the whole writer's strike and everything going on with SAG, I think Iger is just very naive with his view on the world and all those that work in the film industry. I much agree with Tatiana on this growing issue, and Bob's blindness to the issue that's unresolved that can be quickly fixed in a matter of days. So again, what she's also alluding to is Bob Iger's statements a couple of weeks ago, where he was saying how the whole WGA strike situation is being way too blown out of proportion, that it's all unrealistic demands, and that really set off and triggered a lot of actresses and actors out there. Like I said before, She-Hulk actress Tatiana came forward with all those concerns about Bob Iger's vision. But here's the bigger problem at large, is that we know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, one of the most insufferable actresses up there with Brie Larson and Rachel Zegler, is ultimately what led to Disney really changing their mind with the current Lucasfilm state, with the slate of, movies, with the TV shows all associated with Star Wars, because Lucasfilm has been losing hundreds of millions of dollars. All because of Kathleen Kennedy hiring the wrong people, all because of Kathleen Kennedy overfunding these said projects like the Solo film, and let's not forget about Indy 5. And so the same exact thing is going as follows with AHSOKA. The viewership is very low at this point in time based on certain projections that came out just yesterday. It's not doing too well, and it's going to lose them more subscribers in the process. In fact, I already know a couple of people that ditched Disney Plus after watching the 2-episode premiere. And that just is a telltale that things really aren't going well for Disney and Lucasfilm at large. So again, Phoebe Waller, putting Bob Iger on blast and in the hot seat and really criticizing Disney of their unorganized ways. And I'm not saying I defend Phoebe Waller-Bridge, or nor do I support her, but I gotta say, it's pretty interesting that she's actually raising her voice against Disney in a similar scenario to what Tatiana did. So, my biggest complication with her is the fact that she is going all out on changing the structure of Tomb Raider from Amazon. That's going to be a big fail. The fact that she's got a lot of creative elements in who's going to become the next James Bond, that's also a very worrisome thing, and why I most likely am done with the Bond franchise just because of that reason alone. But I would like to hear your take on all of this below in the comments, guys, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding on one. From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No